Do you want to learn effective ways to build relationships, generate sales, and grow your business from successful entrepreneurs, startups, and CEOs without listening to a long interview? If so, you've come to the right place. Gresham Harkless values your time and is ready to share with you precisely the information you're in search of. This is the I Am CEO podcast.
Hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Diane Helbig of Seize This Day. Diane, it's awesome to have you on the show.
It's awesome to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Super excited to have you on. And what I wanted to do was just read a little bit more about Diane so you can hear about all the awesome things that she's doing. And Diane is a business advisor and trainer focusing on helping small business owners and sales professionals succeed. Say that 3 times fast. As a founder of Seize This Day, she works with her clients to be more productive and profitable. She is the author of Lemonade Stand Selling, Expert Insights, and the upcoming Succeed Without Selling. Diane is also the host of the Accelerate Your Business Growth podcast and has been seen on Forbes Inc. magazine and is one of the best podcasts for small business. Diane, are you ready to speak to the IMCO community?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Let's do it. So to kick everything off, I wanted to hear a little bit more about what I call your CEO story, and we'll let you get started with your business.
Okay, thank you. So back in 2005, late 2005, had a sort of life-changing moment. My father passed away, and it was a turning point for me. I thought, I want to be doing something that is more impactful to the universe. My sister told me I should be a marriage counselor. My best friend said I should be a life coach. And when I researched everything and took a look at everything, I realized I should be a business coach because that's what I know, that's what I do, that's what I'm passionate about. So I just got on the train and learned how to be a coach and talked to the people I worked for and changed my relationship with them so I could still be bringing in revenue while I was launching my business. And did it in 2006, and as they say, the rest is history. Here I am.
There you go. Here you are. That's so obviously sorry to hear about your father passing away, but definitely I know that sometimes running a business can seem probably sometimes like a marriage counselor and life coach and so many other business things that you need at your disposal to keep the ball rolling, so to speak.
Yeah. So true.
So I wanted to hear a little bit more about what you do to kind of help support the clients that you work with. Could you break down, exactly what you do, and of course, a little bit more about your podcast as well, too?
Oh, certainly. Thank you. So I work usually one-on-one with a small business owner or with their leadership team, doing strategic planning, helping them figure out really where it is they want to go, what's getting in the way of them going there, and then based on who they are, setting up processes and systems like a plan so that they can get there. Sometimes it means creating a sales strategy. Sometimes it's systems within the business, hiring, reorganizing who's doing what. It depends, and it can change through time as I'm working with them. And then I just stay with them while they're going through that. So it's like that trusted advisor, help you answer the questions that you don't necessarily have the answers to kind of role. And I do training. So the training I do is really with any level of employee in any sort of company in any industry, around sales, leadership, customer service, time management. Like those are my heavy hitter ones, just to help them develop tools that they can use so that they can be more effective and happier in whatever their role is. So that's what I do during the day. Right. And then I have my podcast that I've had for, I think, 10 years.
Nice.
Sort of lost track somewhere along the line. And I interview people from all over the world who have expertise in certain areas of business, and they share that expertise with the listeners. Everything from taxes to sales to exit strategy, just you name it. And I'm really lucky, I would say. It's turned into this really great thing. I get to talk to incredible people daily. So I get to learn too. That's the cool thing. I don't have to listen to other podcasts because I get to listen to these folks talk to me.
You're telling my secrets.
I won't tell anybody. And so it's cool. I like it. It's been a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, I definitely appreciate that, especially that you hit on those essential aspects of business, because I think people always say like sales is the lifeblood of business, but once you get those sales, you got to make sure your customers are happy. So customer service is huge. And as you manage your team, you got to make sure you have those leadership skills too. So it's kind of like if any of those wheels fall off, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, yeah. You really, all the legs of the stool, and you can't really be successful if one of them is shaky, right?
Right.
It really does. It really is about the whole system.
Yeah, that makes sense. And do you find that because I think that, as business owners, we're so close to what we're doing on a day-to-day basis and the business itself, that sometimes we need to either bounce ideas off of somebody or have that different perspective so that we can kind of see the forest for the trees, I guess you can say?
Yeah, I do. What I find so often is my clients feel like they're the only ones having this problem, even though everyone I talk to has the exact same problems and challenges. They feel like they've tried different things and nothing's working. And so they really are at a loss. And being able just to hear things from someone, it could be what they were thinking. It gives them validation, or maybe it's a whole new idea they could never think of before. Because as you said, you're so in it on a daily basis that you can't really see it as a whole. So it's great to bring somebody in from the outside who can look at it from different angles and say, well, have you thought about this? Or this is what I see, right? Just gives you a whole other way of looking at your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially, somebody that has your expertise as well, too, because you have worked with other businesses. So you do know that, hey, you're not the only person, even though when we're in the midst of crises, sometimes we do feel like we're the only person that's going through it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. So I wanted to ask you now for what I call your secret sauce. And this could be for you or for your organization, but what do you feel kind of sets you apart and makes you unique?
So I have a saying, I can only live in reality. Won't you join me here? And I say that to all of my clients. I often say it when I'm training because wishing is great and we are where we are and our reality is what it is. And if we aren't honest with ourselves about this is my life, these are my struggles, this is, these are my opportunities, whatever it is, we end up sort of on a hamster wheel that doesn't get us anywhere. So I think my secret sauce is that I am your raving fan and I am also your mom. I'm going to tell you that outfit looks terrible on you because I know it's best for you. I always have your best interest in mind, and sometimes you need to hear these things. And at the same time, I'm really optimistic. I mean, I'm one of the most optimistic people on the planet. I think anything's possible if we're just willing to dig in and find the answer.
Yeah, I think that's huge, and I definitely appreciate that perspective. You can always appreciate mom's perspective because she's always right, and that's for my mom specifically. She's listening, but exactly, I have to get points as I can. But the really big thing is just understand. I think sometimes people get frustrated because they're not exactly who or where they want to be, but I think a lot of times you have to really say, okay, this is where I am. This is exactly who I am, what my strengths and weaknesses are. This is how I need to get to where I want to be. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're not being optimistic. It's just that this is what I'm working with. This is how I can get to where I need to be.
Right. I'm real pragmatic, right? Because so if I use myself as an example, there are things I wish I could do that I wish I was good at. I'm not. And I can decide, do I want to spend all of my time trying to be good at it? Or do I want to find someone else who's good at it? And do I want to do the things that I can excel at? Well, it's the latter. I want to be happy, right? Because then that leads to more success. And I just think I think that's part of the reason why people hire someone like me. Mm-hmm. It's not to pat them on the back and go, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Part of it, but it's also to say, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Maybe if you communicated this way, you'd get a different result. Let me tell you what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing. It's just, my clients are going to do whatever they're going to do. Their decisions are theirs. Just give them another way of looking at things, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you spoke to before is that validation as well, too, because I think a lot of times, running a business can be super lonely, super scary at times because you don't know if you're making the right decision or the wrong decision, even though we're making like 100 decisions a day, it seems like.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're able to bounce those ideas off of somebody, sometimes it's just to have that listening ear, which goes so much farther than anything else, but also to have that expertise and perspective you bring as well, too, is definitely an awesome add on.
Yeah, thanks.
I wanted to switch gears a little bit, and I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO hack. And this could be an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but it's something that makes you more effective and efficient.
I do a gratitude journal. I try and do it every day. I have to be honest, I don't do it every day, but I'm pretty good about it. And I try and do it in the morning so I can get my day started out right. And I write down 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for, whether they've happened or not, as if they are a thing. And it just puts my focus and my energy in a place that is so forward moving. That's where I get a lot of my energy to really tick things off the list and get things done. And
I absolutely love that. So now I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO nugget. And this is a word of wisdom or a piece of advice. Or if you can hop into a time machine, what would you tell your younger business self?
Wow. Okay. Well, so my nugget is you can do anything you want to do. You just can't do it all at the same time. So, because as business owners and entrepreneurs, we have a bad habit of, ooh, I want to do that. Well, that sounds good. Oh, that's interesting. Are you kidding? I'm jumping on that. Okay, now I have to create that website. Right? We just need to take a breath. No. I'll get it done, but not all at the same time. So we just have to say, what's priority? I'll do these things now so that I can get there. And I find myself not only reminding myself of that, but reminding clients of that a lot. That's not necessarily what I would tell my younger self. I think I would tell my younger self, be patient, because other people have to have the opportunity to realize your value, and it's going to take them longer than it took you, right? Like, I know my value, but other people you just got to be patient. Yeah,
well, I love both of those kind of aspects, especially because they kind of align just as far as understanding the process that it takes to build an empire, as we're all trying, well, not all, but a lot of us are trying to do in 30 days or less. And then also, just understanding that it's also a process for people to realize how great you are and how great the things that you are building and creating are, that for the world to find that out. So it takes time, and it is a process to do both of those.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like you said, we think we're going to put it out there and instantly we're going to be on Forbes. It's just not true.
Yes. The overnight success is not true at all.
Exactly.
That it took 10 years to do that, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Nice. Well, now I wanted to ask you my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And we're hoping to have different quote unquote CEOs on the show. So Diane, what does being a CEO mean to you?
Okay, to me, what a CEO means is someone who is empowering other people to be successful so that the collective is successful, so that the company's successful, we are all successful. And I think a good CEO is someone who embraces the idea that they do not have to know everything, they do not have to do everything, that really their job is to listen to other people and build them up.
I love it. I love that perspective, because I think a lot of times when you have an organization or you're building a team, there's so many different stakeholders, and just understanding, again, like kind of the forest for the trees, and understanding like this is what will help the collective grow in the organization, the stakeholders, just so many different, pieces that are involved, understanding what that looks like.
Yep.
Nice. Well, Diane, I truly appreciate your time and all the awesome things that you're doing. What I wanted to do is pass you the mic, so to speak, just to see if there's anything additional you can let our readers and listeners know. And then, of course, how best people can get a hold of you.
So thank you for this. I love this format that you have. I think this is really fun. I would say I am happy to offer a 30-minute complimentary phone consultation to anyone who wants to talk about any business issue. We'll beat it up in 30 minutes. We'll try and give you a way to go. No obligation, beyond that. And so folks can go to my website at seizthisday.co and sign up for it. And they can sign up for my newsletter if they want to. Keep an eye out for my new book that's going to be coming out soon. And that's that. Thanks for the opportunity.
No problem. Thank you so much. And your podcast information is also on there as well, too?
Yes, it is. Thank you for that. Yes, it is.
No problem. Okay, perfect. So we'll make sure to have that link and that information in the show notes as well so that everybody can follow up with you, see all the awesome things you're doing. Of course, that upcoming book, which is coming out. But Diane, I appreciate your time, all the awesome things you're doing, and thank you. And I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you for listening to the I Am CEO podcast powered by Blue 16 Media. Tune in next time and visit us at IAM406.co. I Am CEO is not just a phrase, it's a community. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. Grab CEO gear at www.ceogear.co. This has been the I Am CEO podcast with Gresham Harkless. Thank you for listening.